Hello everybody, it's me, the Real Local Maniac. I'm back again with another 16-bit Wars. Now today the game we'll be looking at is Ghouls and Ghosts. Now we're going to start off with the arcade version just to see what the arcade game looked like, and then compare it to the Sega Mega Drive. That's a 16-bit console, also known as a Genesis. And then we're going to look at Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo, where it was a bit of a remix. So guys, let's start off with the arcade game here. Now, I just want you to look at the graphics here, because the graphics, you know, are a nice cartoony feel. They were a great improvement over the first Ghosts and Goblins game. This was the sequel to that game by Capcom. Ghouls and Ghosts. Right, so, going to give myself a coin. If you guys haven't checked out my 8-bit War videos on Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, please do so, check them out. Now, as arcade conversions go, the Mega Drive version and the Super Nintendo versions were brilliant. Now check out the starting point there of the game. I want you to check out the trees. This is the arcade version, by the way, guys. I'm going to just compare the 16-bit versions and see how they compare to the arcade version. Now, the only thing is though, when I do these arcade games, they play a little bit slower than they actually do in the proper arcade, and that's just because of my machine's limitations. Everything slows down a little bit. Alright, but look at the vultures there, look at the trees, look at the backgrounds, look at Arthur at the sprite himself there, the sound effects. Because these are all the things that I'm going to be comparing. Now, normally with these, you know, wars that I do, I normally just do the first level, and that's mostly because I can't be asked to edit, or, you know, I just want to showcase the first level, so that way you guys can sort of think, wow, I haven't played that in a while, I will give it another go and play it. But this time round, it's all to do with the fact that this game is so difficult. I can't even get off the first level anymore. But yeah, as arcade games go, this game is rock hard. It's impossible to get anywhere. The only way I can say is to do it is keep on practicing, and then eventually you'll get somewhere. But the music in this game is phenomenal. It's got some great, you know, comedy touches there, like Arthur and his little Y fronts there. Alright guys, so, yep, like I said before, I'll be comparing the Mega Drive first, and then the Super Nintendo version. This was the arcade version, by the way, guys. Right, so this is the Sega Mega Drive, also known as the Genesis version. Alright, I don't know why my Mega Drive sounds like that whenever I start up a game. Alright, Ghouls and Ghosts, so I've got to push start. Some nice music there. Right, so I've got to press start. One player. It says 2 players, but you take turns basically in playing this game. It's the same starting point pretty much there as the arcade game. Now the graphics look a little bit blockier, the backgrounds look very, very nice as well. It hasn't got all the colour that the arcade game has there, but I tell you what, this is probably one of the best Sega Mega Drive conversions there is out there, along with Strider as well. Now the 16-bit era was the era when I actually really did start to feel that I had a, you know, actual arcade machine in my own home. Before that, on the 8-bit computers and on the 8-bit consoles, it was more about the imagination, it was wishful thinking, even though some of the gameplay in those games were absolutely amazing. But this, to me, at the time when I first played this, I thought, holy crap, this is just like having the arcade machine. And it's only when I'm doing these wars that I can actually see these subtle little differences. There's, you know, less colour there, the sound effects aren't quite as good as they are in the arcade. But you know what? This is by no means a bad conversion. This is absolutely superb. It's hard to notice a difference, really. I mean, the sprites are slightly blockier, but all in all, the core gameplay is still there. This game is still rock hard. It's hard to get anywhere in this game. Now, some of you guys might think, oh, it's slightly unfair to compare the Mega Drive version to the Super Nintendo version. Both games are different games. But you know what? I thought it was something that me and my friends, when we were about, what, 15, 16, we used to say which version was better. And I remember reading in a magazine once when they were comparing the Super Nintendo to the Mega Drive one. Oh, the music in this game is phenomenal. Again, guys, I can't really get anywhere in this game anymore. This game is insanely difficult. Sound effects are lovely in this. Look at that. So yeah, I'm going to be comparing gameplay, music, graphics, all of those little things to find out which is the better version of Ghouls and Ghosts. Now again, it's slightly bizarre to compare the Super Nintendo version to the arcade game. But I mean, that's where it gets its roots from. It is pretty much the same game with a few added things. Right, so that's the end of the Mega Drive version, and what a hell of a conversion it was. And this is going to be one tough 16-bit war to call. Right, here we go. We'll start off with the intro there. Pretty similar to the arcade there. The sprite looks somewhat different there. And again, you get that little intro there, leading up to the castle. But the Super Nintendo adds a little bit of flashiness to it. That's like the arcade game there. In the arcade game though, you do get more baddies there. But in the SNES, you only get 3 baddies. Alright, start the game there. And that music is absolutely phenomenal. And guys, I tell you what, when I first played this, I was completely blown away by the graphics of that, the way it just zooms in. Now, when I look at it nowadays, it looks pretty impressive still, but when it starts zooming in a little bit closer, it starts to go a little bit blocky. But you know what, I'm not going to complain about that. There's the baddies kidnapped your blue hair princess, and once again it's up to Arthur to go and save her. Like I said, this isn't a sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts, it's more like a reimagination, a reworking of it, I believe. Alright, so let's see where it starts from. Alright, so the levels there, the starting point is slightly different, and you get all those little graphical touches like that, like the ground starts raising. And the zombies are different to the characters in the other game, Ghouls and Ghosts, which were, I think, like deaths, I believe, or like skeletons. And the music in this does sound really epic. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Now again, guys, some of you may think, well, it's a bit of a weird choice comparing this to the actual arcade game and then comparing it to the Mega Drive version as well, because the Mega Drive was a pretty much spot on clone to the to the arcade game. But me and my friends, we used to sort of like see who had the better version. Originally, I had the Mega Drive version. Couldn't do anything wrong by that. It was like the greatest game ever. And then one of my friends got this on the Super Nintendo, and he was like, "Oh, you should play the Super Nintendo version. It's so much better." And I'm like, "How can you get any more better than the actual Mega Drive game?" And then he told me about it. That it's basically a reworking of it. I read a few reviews of it in magazines. And I tell you what, I was completely blown away by this game. It's just so impressed by it. Again, this game is insanely difficult. It really is hard to actually get anywhere. That was lucky. Ah man, messed that up. So, like I said before, guys, it's going to be a difficult choice trying to choose a winner here between the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo version. Now, obviously, it's obvious that the Mega Drive version is closer to the arcade game because it is pretty much what the game was based on, so it's pretty much spot on. This is more of a reworking of the arcade game, but the core gameplay is still there, and you get added little things there like the double jump, and I think the double jump does feel good, and it's kind of hard to going back to the normal Ghouls and Ghosts without having that double jump. Now, I've yet to still play some of the other Ghouls and Ghosts games, like on the PSP, there's one. I've got one on my iPhone, but it's not that good, to be honest, guys. This game is insanely hard. Right, so as always with the 16-bit wars and the 8-bit wars, guys, please feel free to give me your feedback on, what you think is the better version, or, when you first played the game, or how it actually compares to the arcade game. I always look forward to getting your responses on that. But, you know what? Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, this probably has to be one of the most insanely difficult games ever. I mean, if I had to make a list of the most difficult games out there, this would definitely have to be one of them. Probably R-Type as well, I'd include that into that. I'm actually surprised that R-Type didn't come out on the Sega megadrive, but that would have been absolutely amazing. That could have handled everything that was going along. Now check this bit out, guys. The first time I saw that completely blew me away. Alright, you know what, guys? I want to make my decision. Alright, the Mega Drive version is a superb version of the arcade game, but I like this because it adds a few little things like the double jump and adds all these graphical touches to an already excellent game. So I think my choice winner is this version.